This is a fun one. The fastest path to $10,000 a month profit selling hockey cards with a $5,000 bankroll. So let's get right into this video. So here's how the business works. So I'm gonna explain the entire funnel with you guys. So what I would do is I'd buy a raw card with the intention to grade. If the card is clean, great. I would grade it with PSA. If the card has some sort of imperfection, which I did not see, I would sell it as a raw, where I would break even or make it take a small loss or make a small profit. And for me, the way I run my business is it's really a no risk business model because every card that I buy that comes through my funnel, I always know that I have a contingency plan of being able to sell it and making a good profit, even if the card isn't clean. So obviously, every card that I buy, I want to make sure that it is clean. But in some cases, I'm not perfect. Obviously, some of my cards will end up having damage, which I did not see beforehand, usually minor, but I'm always in a position to make a profit because every deal that I buy is always under comps. So there's that. And when it comes to PSA grading, if the card is a PSA 10, you would resell it. You'd make 2 to 10x your investment. At a PSA 9, you would resell it, or you can even crack and resub it back. And this only works for young guns. So if it's a future watch auto, because future watches are numbered, you won't be able to grade it again because PSA has a database which records them. But something like this Will Smith, right? It's a young gun. Let's just say hypothetically this were a PSA 9. I could always crack it, resend it to PSA if I think that it's worthy of grading. If it's a PSA 8 or below, what you would do is you would likely sell it as a raw. In some cases, you could even crack it and resub it. So let me tell you guys a crazy story. So early on in my grading journey, I had a Matthews Young gun, which looked really clean to me. I graded with PSA. It somehow got a fucking PSA 6. I have no idea. That entire submission, I still remember it to this day. It was like a 30 card sub, and most of them were, PSA 10s with a bit of like a 9s and 8s. But to have a PSA 6, I don't know if you guys know, it is so fucking hard to get a PSA 6. But, anyways, had the 6. I cracked it. I sold it at a card show. And 3 months later, that seller that bought my Matthews Young Gun, PSA 6, he came back to me and he was like, "Hey, man, do you remember that Matthews you graded? You sold me?" And I was like, "Yeah, I remember." And then he was like, "Look at that." And he was holding a fucking Austin Matthews 10, which he graded, which was absolutely crazy to me because at the time I thought that, well, it was a 6. So how the fuck could it grade a 10? Well, that goes to show kind of deal. There is a lot of room for flaws. And because this is very subjective, it's the opinions of other graders, there's always room for errors, right? So, yeah, that was crazy. PSA 6 to PSA 10. Enough of that yap. When it comes to this business model, if you don't already know this, everything works like the stock market. Cards has a market value. You never have an issue selling cards because it is treated like the stock market. I like to use this analogy. So $1,000 worth of Bitcoin is worth $1,000, and that is same goes with a Connor Bedard Young on PSA 10. It's worth $1,000 because the average sales on eBay is around $1,000. So selling it for $1,000, there is no issue because there's a known market value similar to stocks. So yeah, as of May 8th, so at the time of this recording, it is May 10th, so I'm a little bit late to recording this video. But look, Matthew Schaefer Young Gun right now it's about 250 to $300 raw, with a PSA 10 being about 2.5K. If the card isn't clean, I always know that I could sell it for about $350 through some of the connections that I do have. As same goes with my mentorship clients. So with an Ivan Demidov Young Gun, the going rate's about 130 to $150 raw, and the PSA 10 is about 1K. If it's not mint, I know I can sell it for about $200. And yeah, that's a pretty sweet $70 profit right there, even if the card isn't clean. Macklin Celebrini is a really good margin right here. It's $500 raw. PSA 10 is about 3.1K through my kind of ability to sell things. And, this is, I know a lot of people are going to watch this video, right? The comps are 2.4K. It's still a good profit margin, but you have to keep in mind, I know of certain ways of how to sell cards for more than market value. Am I going to throw this on a free YouTube video? Fuck no. This is enough sauce. I don't need to be going over all my secrets with you guys. But yeah, anyways, enough yap. Let's go over Celebrity. Non-mint is about $550 you can sell it for. Makar Young Gun, $350 raw. PSA 10 is about 1K. Non-mint's about 400 you can sell it for. McKinnon Young Gun is about 400 raw. PSA 10 is 1.5K. Non-mint is about $500. Leo Carlson, this is like a cheaper card, but I like to grade the Carlsons a lot because the margins are very good for it being only a $30 investment. $30 raw, PSA 10 is 300. A non-mint I can sell for about $40. Bedard Young Gun, $300 raw. PSA 10 is about a band, and non-mint is about $350. So, as of May 8th, these are the top Young Guns to grade, in my opinion, because with my ability to sell cards for more than market value, as well as my ability to source raw gradable cards for under market, it really just makes it such a good business model for myself as well as my mentorship clients because you really can't go wrong. You know, I've been doing this for about 3 years now. I've never lost money once from a PSA value bulk submission, which has given me the confidence to roll this out, go fucking all in, really burn the boats and stake everything on this business. If you know me as a person, you would know that I'm a very serious person. When I first started playing hockey, I went all in on hockey. And after I got injured, I went all in on the business, and I tried so many different business models. Nothing was working until I found this very niche business, which I poured all my eggs in one basket. I went all in, and over the past 3 years, went from pretty much like an $8,000 net worth to growing it to an $87,000 a month business. So there's that. And yeah, so to go about this kind of strategy, I used to do PSA value bulk. Okay, that was my bread and butter. I've never lost money once from it. But the thing about value bulk nowadays, it's getting slow as fuck. The 1 month turnaround times, it is long gone. Okay, it's long fucking gone. What you need to do is run PSA regular. Fuck the value bulk, slow turnaround time. PSA regular, fucking mogs, because it's a fast turnaround time. It's about right now 4 to 5 weeks on average to get your cards back, and it's about $110 per card. PSA value bulk takes about 3 months. And this is the reason why. So when you think about long term, right? When it comes to a PSA value bulk, it takes about 3 months on average to grade, and you can submit. If it's 3 months on average, you'll get about 4 submissions yearly. The PSA regular, since it is about a 1 month average turnaround time, you need 12 subs yearly. And although it is a little bit more expensive per card with 110 compared to $35 per card Canadian, you make a lot more money long term because the more money that you make from it is more money you can reinvest back into the business, buy more raw cards, get them graded, and over long term, you make a lot more money because your frequency for the amount of submissions you can do yearly, it is 3 times more than the value bulk. Let's say hypothetically we were to work together one on one and we were to build out this kind of PSA submission with a $5,460 investment on a PSA regular submission. So let's just say, we put down this money, we buy about 6 Matthew Schaefer Young Guns, averaging $1,800 for the 6. We buy 6 Ivan Demidov Young Guns, which is about 900, and 2 Macklin Celebrities for about 1,000. So right here, we would have spent, $5,460, including the PSA grading costs. Let's just say worst case scenario, let's keep in mind, this is very fucking hard to do, okay? When you're submitting 14 cards, if you were to just get one PSA 10, this is how ridiculous it is. And this goes to show why I'm so fucking successful with it. Because how the fuck do you lose money? Like, actually, how the fuck do you lose money with this business? Because look at this, all right? Worst case scenario, okay? Let's just say you somehow get only one PSA 10 on the submission to Celebrating Young on PSA 10. You make about 2.5K profit. The remaining 13 cards, everything gets a PSA 8, which is fucking ridiculous. You would have essentially just lost the grading cost, which is only $110 per card, which would be, $1,430 loss. You would still make $1,070 profit from a $5,400 investment. Let that sink in. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's still pretty good money. even though you only get one PSA 10. Now let's look at a more realistic example. For me, my average gem rate with PSA is about 40%. So let's just say we got three Schaefer PSA 10s, 6 grand profit, two Ivan Demidov Young on PSA 10s, make about 1,500, and one celebrating PSA 10, which makes, $2,350 profit. In most submissions, you will get more nines than eights. But to keep the math very simple, let's just say all the remaining cards were to get an eight, so it'd be an $880 loss. You would still make about 8,900. You would make 8,970 fucking dollars, more than 2x your money on an investment. You would make 8,970 fucking dollars with a mere $5,400 investment. This goes to show when you've got the right structure put into place for both buying raw gradable cards as well as selling them for more than market value, you have essentially just got this business, which is so fucking niche. You got this for life. When it comes to this industry, it's a 100-year industry. It is not slowing down. It's only getting better. There's just more and more money getting dumped into it. In total, you would have made $8,970 from a $5,400 investment. Like, let that sink in. How crazy is that? Literally within 4 to 5 weeks. Look, that is the reason why I've gone so successful in the past 3 years. People that kind of known me at 15, kind of seen the progress, seen the come up. It's so crazy, and it is all credited due to this business. Hockey card reselling and grading has genuinely changed my life, and it could change yours as well. And I don't say that just to say that. I fucking mean it from the bottom of my heart. And you might be wondering, how do I sell my cards? So selling is by far the easiest part. The card market is treated like the stock market. $10,000 worth of BTC, Bitcoin, is worth $10,000. Same goes with hockey cards. $10,000 worth of hockey cards is worth $10,000 because it's an active market. There's millions of dollars of sales every single day on eBay, and the market is fucking booming. So when it comes to actually making an investment down, a lot of people are worried that, hey, if I buy a Matthew Schaefer Young Gun for $300, let's just say, what if I can't sell it? Like, what if I just have to sell for $50? Like, that fucking doesn't make sense because the market is treated like stocks. You would never have an issue selling $10,000 worth of Bitcoin, Apple stock, or whatever that investment may be. And that is same goes with hockey cards. So yeah, if you guys are looking to start and scale your own hockey card reselling grading business, feel free to DM me cards on Instagram. We'll hop on the call. We'll see if we're a good fit to work one-on-one together in my mentorship. And yeah, I hope to see you guys in, and appreciate you guys for watching this video. Gonna be posting more videos regularly now. And yeah, I hope that this video was educational, a little bit entertaining. And yeah, let's get right into this. Let's get this fucking bread. Let's go, boys.